Hey folks, you are most welcome to the Rising Being Show, and here we have an amazing speaker, the guest of time management, who's going to talk about the time and how can you manage your time. And the guest is from USA. Dear guests, we have Marisa Lonic over here. You are most welcome in our Rising Being Show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
All right, perfect. So Marisa, my audience would like to know a little introduction about you.
Absolutely. So, my name is Marisa Lonic. As you mentioned, I'm a time management productivity coach. I work a lot with working parents. I am a working parent myself. I'm a mom of four kids, a former corporate executive turned entrepreneur. And I really support my clients with exactly that, managing their time so that they're able to live a more balanced life, fulfill goals and dreams that they feel like, quite frankly, they don't have the time or energy to do right now. We're able to flip the script and turn that around so that they are able to make that happen.
All right, perfect. So this is something what is interesting. There are a lot of people who are unable to manage their time. They are, super unproductive. So I strongly believe from today's conversation, people are gonna make their time super productive and how they are going to use their time effectively. So, Marsha, my audience really would like to know a little of your journey. That how did you get into this time management coach?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it really started when I became a parent myself and my world just totally shifted. I went from being able to structure my life and my schedule around, just my work and myself and my husband. And then I gave birth to twins, and my whole world was just completely shifted. So I felt pretty overwhelmed. I felt like I still wanted to be growing in my career and my profession, but I felt torn. I wanted to be able to have enough time to give to my family. And I also wanted to be able to dedicate time and energy to my passions and my career at the time, too. And so I had to really develop, different mindset shifts, different organizational structures to be able to juggle these worlds so that I could feel fulfilled both professionally and personally.
All right, all right. So you meant saying that you already had been through it, and that's how you transformed yourself, and that's how you became the time management coach. So this is something what a really interesting journey is. So let's jump into our real conversation. That is something talking about the question, answering them. So here we have a set of questions for you that we really would like to ask, and let's say you can say those are the questions that even the audience is being interested listening to it, right? So here's my first question I've jotted down over here is, what is the first thing we need to do when it comes to the time management?
Yeah, I think that the most crucial first step that you need to take when you're thinking about time management and kind of getting a better handle of managing your time and your tasks is clarity. If you don't know how you want to spend your time, if you don't know what your goals are, what you need to get done, you will inevitably end up wasting time. You will end up filling any lull you get during the day, any free moment you get with something that, quite frankly, is kind of like garbage, like isn't pushing you forward in any way, is kind of just filling a gap, filling a void, and making you feel at the end of the day like you maybe felt busy, you felt like you were doing something all day long, but you actually did nothing productive. You got nothing done towards something that would make you feel like you were really accomplished that day.
All right. So fine, I believe the audience is just looking to the questions and they are following what you are saying, right? So here we have another question over here is like, why do most people have a negative relationship with time?
Yes, I love this question. So, let me think about this. Let me ask you a question. When you think about time in your life, right? What do you think of? You think of time always going too quickly when you're having fun, right? It passes too fast when you're having a good time. or when you're in a situation that's kind of boring or one that you wouldn't really particularly like to be in, it just moves so slowly, right? And you're like, come on, time, let's go, let's move it. You feel like you never have enough time. How many times a day do you say that? Oh, I don't have enough time. I don't have time for this, or I don't have time for that. And when you have this sort of relationship with time, this love-hate relationship, you operate from a place of scarcity. You feel like there's never enough time for what you actually want to get done, the things you want to accomplish. And when you have that mentality of scarcity, you start to believe those things. And when you start to believe them, they start to become your reality. So if we can sort of switch this around and come from this with a mindset of abundance, a mindset of there is always time for what I want and need to get done, we can really change that negative relationship with time.
All right, perfect. So here is what we have as the third question for you is what are some simple mindset steps we can take to better manage our time?
Right. So, like I just mentioned, if we find that we're constantly saying things like, I don't have time, I don't have enough time, really shifting the mindset when it comes to that is essential and will help you get into that abundance mindset of time management. So, I want to challenge you. If you find that you are saying this regularly, I want you to start replacing that phrase, I don't have time, with the phrase, it's not a priority to me. So let's exemplify this really quick. Let's say that you find yourself constantly saying, I don't have time to work out. I don't have time to exercise. I know that's
Mhm.
something I hear often from clients I work with, right? Now, if you flip that around and you start saying to yourself, working out isn't a priority to me, one of two things is going to happen for you. One path can be that you say those words out loud and you know what? You feel fine about it. You feel comfortable with it. And all of a sudden, you're sort of just alleviated of the guilt or the shame or the control that time has over you in that sense. So you say it out loud, working out isn't a priority to me. You feel fine. You think to yourself, well, you know what, in this season, I guess it's just not a priority to me. Maybe I have a baby at home that doesn't sleep through the night and I just have to get through this season and then I'll start going to the gym again. Or maybe I'm in a really challenging time within my business or within my work. And in a month, when things slow down, I'm going to start working out again. And all of a sudden, you just feel lighter. You feel better about the fact that you're choosing to make that a priority or not. Now, on the other hand, if you say this out loud and you don't feel fine, you don't feel comfortable, you feel sort of misaligned with that, it doesn't make you feel good. Well, what's it going to do? It's going to propel you to make some changes. It's going to kind of give you some ideas of how you can make it a priority because saying that it's not doesn't feel good to you. So you'll wake up earlier, you'll go to sleep later, you'll use a break during the day to make this happen. You'll stop scrolling Instagram and you'll get on the treadmill or you'll do something because you're going to want to feel like, well, I want to make it a priority because that doesn't feel good not making it one right now.
That's true. So instead of saying that I do not have time, you can say that it's not my priority, right? So you understand that what's your
Right.
priority and what's your priority, what is not your priority. All right, here we have the next question for you is like a lot of people tend to feel overwhelmed and have a hard time getting started. Do you have any advice for them?
Absolutely. And I think, when we come from a place of overwhelm, we get into this mode that I like to call analysis paralysis. So let's say we have this really long to do list sitting in front of us, and we're looking at it and we're just like, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start. I don't know. Like there's just so much stuff on here. Kind of makes us feel frozen. It makes us feel stuck. But here's the thing about overwhelm overwhelm is a feeling we're choosing to feel in that moment. So we can choose it. We can choose to stay stuck and frozen and not do anything about it, or we can simply choose not to. We can simply say to ourselves, I don't have to feel overwhelmed by this. I can do one thing at a time. I can decide on three things from this list today, and that's it, and move on. I have that power. So once you kind of come to terms with the fact that it's a decision we're making ourselves, it's really empowering to know that we can literally just kind of like snap our fingers and get out of it.
All right, perfect, perfect. So I strongly believe the audience that who is watching out there right now, you are getting benefited and you are gonna implement the strategies that she is sharing. And if you are here on this channel, so like this video, subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends. Let's move to the next question that we have over here is what about multitasking? I've seen when while we are an entrepreneur, digital marketer, social media marketing agency owner, consultant, coach, there's a lot of work that we need to get it done. So in this world of this multitasking, so what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah. So let me ask you, do you multitask?
Sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, there's no shame in it. I totally get it. I'm a mom of 4 kids. I have to multitask or my house would fall apart here. So I totally understand. How do you typically feel when you multitask?
It's like it becomes so messy.
It becomes messy. Yeah, yeah. So I have a mantra when it comes to multitasking, and I think the thing is, in most people's lives, multitasking some things is inevitable, right? Because I don't know about you, but I don't have like a personal chef or a live-in housekeeper or a team of nannies or like the level of support that maybe some people who are really high on the luxury scale might have. I don't. I'm just a regular person like anybody else. So multitasking needs to happen in my house like it probably does in most of the listeners' houses too. But when we're multitasking the quote unquote wrong things, it has a negative effect on us, right? Not only does it take our attention and our time away from important tasks, it makes us feel stressed. It makes us feel frazzled. It makes us feel overwhelmed, like we were just talking about. So when it comes to multitasking, I think the most important thing that you can do is not necessarily to say don't multitask or just don't do it. It's to choose wisely what you do multitask. So I like to tell people to multitask the mindless, the things that don't require a ton of brain power, the things you can do on autopilot, the things that you can do probably in your sleep, and you multitask those things. You do those things like because nothing would fall apart, right? Like the world wouldn't come to an end if you didn't do them with your full brain power. So in my house, I'm managing my personal life, my business, all these things. I do a lot of multitasking with like things at home, with like cooking, with, folding laundry, with, things like that, things that I can do on autopilot, things that wouldn't fall apart if I didn't do them perfectly. And then with solo tasking, things that you really want to dedicate your full brain power to, those are things you solo task. You solo task the mind full. So what comes to mind when I think of this is like when you're doing really important work projects, right? When you are having dinner with your family, your significant other, and you want to have a real conversation, you're not checking your phone while you're doing that. You're really present. You're really focused on those moments. So multitask the mindless, solo task the mindful.
All right, this is something like what is important, so important. So, as you mentioned, right, that while you are with your loved ones, your family, with the people you really like to be with, so do only one thing, right? What is just important is like to stay over there, be present over there. So that is what is really important. So let's move to the next question: is what's the first thing someone should do if they are ready to get a handle on their time management?
I think just like we talked about early is knowing exactly how you want to spend your time, really clarifying your goals, being really intentional about what those are, setting an end date to when you want to accomplish that, or even just like small goals per day. I like to tell people to do 3 small goals per day. What are 3 things you'll absolutely hold yourself accountable today?
All right. So it means like we need to understand what are the three important things that would help them to grow their business with their personal life that as a person. So is that you meant saying that what is the three important things that we need to do?
Yeah, you know, I think it's different for everyone. And I think some days you're going to have those three things maybe focused fully on your business, and other days it's going to be a mix of business and personal life. I think the three goals should be small. They shouldn't be anything too daunting that when you think about them, you get worried or nervous, or you actually may not complete it that day. You want to ensure these are things you can get done each and every day. You can feel like you check off your list. You can feel at the end of the day, not defeated, but, you know, like proud of your accomplishments. So they should be small, you know, small things, right? Micro goals. And then the other thing that I would say, you know, that to ensure, it could be on this list or it could just be a separate line item that you're ensuring that you're doing on a daily basis, is you need to ensure that you're not only doing things for other people or parts of your business or whatever it is, you're actually doing something for yourself as well. So you're taking care of yourself, your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual health, whatever that looks like to you. Because if you're not doing that, if you're not taking care of you, you can't possibly be as productive and at managing your time and your tasks as well. Like you can't work at optimal capacity.
All right. So that's what is really important over here. So one need to understand. Okay, you know, in the world of this, as I already we talked about that the entrepreneurs are busy on the multitasking. They are unable to manage their time effectively. So what do you think? This would be our last question. You know, what do you think? What a person should follow in order to grow their business? Like, you know, while we are talking about business, what one should they do? Should they follow the schedule? They should make a schedule. They should follow it. They should stick to it, and they should understand, okay, what is really important. Because I have heard that there is a myth of time management and work management. So is that really they need to manage their time, or they need to manage their work? So what are your thoughts on it?
I'm going to say you need to manage your priorities. You need to manage
All
what's
right.
important, what's in line with your goals. Those are the things that you need to ensure come first, get done, you hold yourself accountable for. I don't think there's an exact formula for each and every person out there. I think some people require more discipline and maybe time blocking and really ensuring that like specific times of day are dedicated to specific tasks. I think other people require a little bit more of a flexibility model and just kind of a to-do list that they get through when they get through at any point during the day. I don't think it's a one size fits all strategy. I think it's ensuring you have your priorities clarified, you have a system that works for you, and you're also ensuring you're taking care of yourself along the line.
All right, that's something outstanding, like pretty interesting. We need to understand what are our priorities that we need to understand, and we could follow all those stuff to get all those priority done on the time, right? So thank you so much, Marisa, for being over here and inspiring our audience, adding immense value to them. And thank you so much to my audience as well for being over here, for staying till the end and coming to the video over and again, watching us, be getting inspired and even supporting us, loving so much. Thank you so much to everyone whoever is being is watching over here. Thank you so much, and once again, thank you so much to you, Marcel, for being over here. Signing off from India.
Thank you.